Time to look at the front pages. Welcome back to the program. The Daily Trust is up, so let's look at the front page for today, December 3rd, Friday 2025. How about this one? Wike allocates 10 billion naira for rent, furniture to Apabio, Abbas, two others. Who are the two others? Get to page 3 and you will find out more. Obasanjo, NNPCL disagree over refineries. How 140 policemen died in FCT in 2024, according to the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Disu. Food crisis, 5 months after the federal government issued that waiver. It says the federal government is yet to implement the duty waiver, so not walking the talk, according to this report on page 4. And presidency mom as Obi hits Tinubu on State of the Nation. Subscribers reject telecom tariff hike plan. We did talk about how the MTN CEO during that engagement on Thursday says the telecommunication operators are calling for a 100% tariff hike. US warns against travel to 7 African countries. Be interesting to know if Nigeria is on the list. If you want to find out, you can take a look at the story on page 26. And on page 6, this disturbing story about how bandits burn houses and church in Kaduna community is also available for you to take a look at. Let's bring in our newspaper reviewer. Nuruddin Abdullah is the editor, 21st Century Chronicle. He's joined us as always this Friday, looking regal as always. Nuruddin, good morning to you and thank you very much for joining us on the program. Happy New Year to you.
Same to you.
I hope 2025 has been kind to you so far. It's just 3 days.
Alhamdulillah.
Right. We hope it improves going forward.
Inshallah.
Yeah. So let's start this way. First of all, the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, is back in the news. And there's a back and forth, apparently, about his lack of belief in the possibility of the government turning the refineries around. So when the refineries came back on stream, Port Harcourt and Warri, he had his say about what happened during his administration, how there was an agreement that Dangote and some groups were taking over the refinery, but his successor, Yar'Adua, decided to renege on that and go back because the NNPC says it can do the job. Now the NNPC is saying, Chief, come, let's give you a tour. The refineries that you didn't believe in are finally back and back in operation. What do you make of, this back and forth?
Okay, I don't know why Chief Obasanjo even brought up that issue, particularly if you remember what happened. And I don't know, because Nigerians, we have a very short memory. Obasanjo, I think, is not the right person to talk about privatization.
Why do you say that?
His privatization program was a total failure.
The power sector?
Not even the power sector. You remember how he auctioned? Remember Nitel?
Right.
Nitel, Nigerian Airways, look at this. He's a senator now from Edo. People with no financial muscles, but simply because they were cronies to Obasanjo at that time, were auctioned these federal government estates and entities. We remember what happened to Nitel. They said that they signed the papers and a paper soup joined on a Friday under the RFIE at BPE. You remember what happened to Nigerian Airways? You remember the public squabbles between the then Minister of Aviation, Kemi Achikwe, and the then National RFIE on the pages of newspapers over the auction of some choice property of Nigerian Airways. Where is Nigerian Airways today? Where is Nitel? Up till now, we're still talking about Nitel, what have you? So Obasanjo is the least qualified Nigerian to talk about privatization because privatization under him was the maze.
So you think in hindsight, it was a good decision that Yar'Adua didn't agree to the $750 million sale of the refinery?
When Yar'Adua came, I didn't read what, what an NPC is saying now. But remember what happened. the process was anything less than transparent. It was a summary auction of the 4 refineries at that time to some choice cronies who funded his third time. And that was the main reason why Yar'Adua canceled it. And going forward, almost how many years after? More than 20 years, almost 20 years after. In 4 years of Yar'Adua, 6 years of Jonathan Outfield, Buhari and now Tinubu. What is happening to that sector? Even after he left, what Jonathan did with power? They were auctioned to cronies with zero financial muscles, poor technical know-how, and what have you. So, for the fact that the Port Harcourt refinery is back, throttle at least, it's a good development. Kaduna refinery has been off since 2014. Wari is back at least. And plus the Dangote refinery now, we are now buying for at least less than 1,000 naira. So we hope that by the time Wari refinery is back on throttle, maybe by refining PMS, and Kaduna is back, maybe it can come down to 800 or even without paying the subsidy. So it's a good development. Unfortunately, Chibo Basanjo doesn't say anything good on anybody if he's not the architect of that.
Right. Okay. I guess you're not a fan of Chibo Olusegun Obasanjo. But let's talk about food crisis, because this reporting on the pages of Daily Trust says 5 months after, the federal government is yet to implement its duty waiver, where it announced a 150-day window for free importation of food items. The policy is yet to be implemented. These are the findings of Daily Trust newspaper. This again re-echoes the argument that sometimes the government doesn't walk the talk. It says something, but implementing always takes longer than expected.
I don't know. We didn't expect this from this administration. Yeah, we witnessed this in the past. Federal government officials are just impulsive. Policies, you remember during Obasanjo's President Buhari's time, there are dozens of committees chaired by the then Vice President, Food Reduction Committee, blah, blah. And it was just a fire brigade approach without any
due diligence.
Exactly. But what does it take? Look at the excuse by customs and what have you. Are we trying to vet 1 million companies? No. These companies are registered. You have your criteria. This thing can be done within 1 month. Submit your applications. You have the CAC. You have all the relevant government agencies. What does it take?
You think 5 months, there's no excuse as to why this cannot
And look at it. If you are talking about the customs is talking about losing revenue, from their own estimate, the loss in revenue for the 6 months window for the waiver is less than 200 billion. So that's a big deal. Less than 200 billion. And at least the millers here will have the brown rice paddy, wheat, and what have you. So I don't know what exactly is the problem. Right. Maybe the president must have been advised against the same policy he announced. They go with the crowd. Right. Yeah, exactly. Okay, tell them this.
You think this in practice is them saying, oh, maybe that was a bad idea to announce it?
Maybe now they are doing palliative, right? People are dying to collect 1 kg of rice.
Right. Okay. I suppose you had a listen to what Mr. Peter Obi had to say, his press conference. He captured a lot, talked about what he would do differently, what he advised Tinubu to do differently in managing the economy of the country and the current challenges. What do you make of it? Because we didn't hear a response from the presidency yet. We don't know if they would respond eventually.
They are cooking the response, I think.
right. I think so. I think Bayo Onanuga is still in the kitchen at the moment. Yeah.
With his head.
Yeah.
Majorly, what the Peter Obi's opposition figure said is, look at the travelers, the foreign trips. 180 in 530 days. The president spent 180 days in 16 countries. And we don't have problem with the president traveling. But what do we get in return? I think more importantly, particularly for the first 2 years, the president should be at the vanguard of leading governance. His economic reforms, not the VP is there, the foreign minister is there, the relevant government agents are there. Who are virtually doing nothing. They can attend all the conference and drink all the tea and cruise with the photo ops. He has to sit down and like he said, the president is more concerned about traveling out, shaking hands with all those. In the last 530 days, how many states has he visited?
Right.
He visited all the states, I believe, during the campaign. But maybe until another campaign season, maybe he will.
And do you think that is a point that needed to be noted? Because Peter Obi was suggesting even some of the highways that are short distance, 100 kilometers, for instance, that the president needs to, connect with the people. Let them see their president checking all of these infrastructural issues out, and not from afar in Abuja, for instance.
That is the best if he could do that. But unfortunately, even his predecessors, while he was traveling from Kaduna to, just to use his same words, he spent 30 months pursuing his electoral issue. He was traveling from Kaduna to Abuja. But the moment he came as president, I don't think the man has ever traveled that route. Maybe the highest was the airport. Sometimes they even use chopper. So, there is that disconnect. And unfortunately, even their ministers, wherever they go with chopper, the outside security issue. If, for instance, now the army chief is traveling, let's say, the NSA is traveling, use the road. You build confidence on the public.
Okay, all right. And in a few seconds, subscribers are rejecting telecom tariff hike. The telecom operators are saying it doesn't make sense for them to stay in business like this because it is not sustainable. They are asking for a 100% increase. NCC last week says it's not going to happen. What do you think is the possibility of it happening? I mean, we've been here before with electricity where they assure us there's not going to be a tariff hike, but eventually it became the reality.
It's a reality. Let's not deceive ourselves. How much are you buying diesel? What is the minimum wage of your workers? These people, they are providing security. The diesel they were buying 215 naira is now 1,000 plus. And all other aspects. Okay, if you don't want them to increase tariff, you want them to fold up and go. You want MTN to close all its offices, sack all its stuff and go. No. Right. The tariff hike is a reality, but let's negotiate it. Right. Not 100%, for instance. Okay. Maybe it should be a gradual thing.
Okay. So Nigerians should expect that this is going to happen.
Definitely, it's a reality. It's an economic reality. I'm a realist.
Right. So you think the NCC is not telling us the truth by saying it's not going to happen?
Say it is not going to happen. I don't think they are saying the whole. They are not lying, right? But maybe they are not saying the whole truth.
Okay. And we're used to government agencies being economical with the facts, but yeah, I think that's worthy of note. Well, Nuruddin, I wish we could go further, but unfortunately, that's all the time we have right now. Thank you so much for stopping by this morning.
My pleasure.
It's good to see you as always.
Thank you.
Right. And that is our show for you today. Thank you most kindly for joining us. Feel free to join tomorrow's edition. It will be extra special with Daybreak Extra. Until next time, my name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Good morning and stand by for 360 Sports coming up at the top of the hour. Good morning.